The abuse that I feel I had to deal with most of the time was his total lack of concern of who we were. It was always him and no one else. I had 5 children to take care of. We all started, I think, in a sense, losing our own sense of identity. Aside from the fact that I didn't have the financial resources to relocate and rebuild, I also had a child that had special medical needs. And at the time, even though I knew the abuse was dysfunctional and unhealthy for all of us, my son needed his 3rd brain surgery. And it was just impossible to leave at that point. I couldn't leave to relocate. I couldn't say, oh, let's temporarily put his needs on hold. And I stayed so I could take care of the children's immediate needs. I experienced my last episode of domestic assault over 6 years ago in my own home. That night, my husband threw me to the ground and he slammed me up against the ground and he banged my head several times on the floor. When I was able to get up, I was lucky enough to have the frame of mind to pick up the phone and call 911. I suffered a concussion that night and an injury on my AC joint. When the police officers arrived, they were the ones that introduced me to the Women's Center and Shelter and advised me to call. They said I would get the support I needed there. I made that call. I was invited to come in to speak to an individual counselor for initial interview, and I went in. So I think I was at the center within 3 or 4 days of my incident. They made sure I had the legal advocacy I needed for my court appearance and my PFA. They got me through that process. And I liked the counselor, and I knew she had invited me to come back for individual sessions, and I did. Each time I went, every time I went, I learned more and more, and I just knew it was the place I wanted to be. I come in the door, I say, this is what happened, and they say, we believe you. And they don't dismiss me. I've been dismissed by him often enough throughout my relationship with him. And it's important now that someone's saying, you're real, you have value. The whole process of surviving the abuse, to rebuilding your life, to relocating, it's a very complicated process because it involves the emotion, it involves the financial, it involves the court, it involves physical getting up and finding a new place to live and putting everything together. The Women's Center helps you in every area. I know that when I was living under his roof, I had to be strong and smart just to survive. But since I've been able to leave, I'm stronger and smarter than I've ever been before. I've been able to go back to school, get another associate's degree that'll help me in the workforce. I've been able to rehabilitate my credit and rehabilitate my student loan. I've been able to deal with the lawyers and the court systems. I've been able to financially build up the little that I'm able to build up. And I've not quit. I'm strong. And I don't think I would have been able to do it without what I've learned through the Women's Center. I think what I'm most proud of, though, is that I've been able to become the mother my children need me to be. And even though we're not physically together anymore, the adult children are moved on now, we're emotionally still together. We've remained a close family, and we've remained a loving family. And that was a hard thing to accomplish after all the abuse we've been through. I couldn't imagine me giving up. I just couldn't imagine doing it. There's things I want in life. And what I want is my children to have a loving life. And what I want is for us to be able to not only survive in our community, but to be able to enjoy it. I was taught at a very young age that God created us to experience love. And I would never give up on that.